Well, this is the time of year when we release admissions decisions at the University of Washington, and it's an exciting time of year. It can also be a little stressful, and we thought we would answer some questions that people typically have this time of year. One question that people ask is if it's getting harder to get into the University of Washington than it used to be. Well, unfortunately, it is a little harder to get in than it used to be. The reason for that is that we receive more and more applications over time, but our ability to admit and enroll more students has not changed over that same amount of time. We receive over 70,000 applications for an entering freshman class of a little over 7,000. Now, admissions is not quite as competitive as that might sound because we have to make more offers than we have space because not everybody accepts their offers. And also, for Washington residents, we only receive about 17,000 applications. And Washington residents only compete with other Washington residents for enrollment at the University of Washington. And out of an entering class of a little over 7,000, about 2/3 of those students will be Washington residents. So over time, admission has gotten more competitive, but it has gotten much more competitive for out-of-state students than for Washington residents. Why can't we take more in-state students and fewer out-of-state students? Actually, out-of-state students allow us to enroll more in-state students than we would be able to enroll otherwise. Out-of-state students pay considerably more tuition than in-state students. Also, out-of-state students are a very important part of our student body. We're a world-class university. This is a global economy. Washington residents benefit by living with and studying with students from around the country and around the world. How does the application review process work, and who reviews applications? Well, our staff reviews many of the applications, and with over 70,000 applications, we also hire some additional staff to help us review applications. They go through extensive training, and they review every single application that we receive. For the application review process, we review every part of an application. For academics, we look at the courses that a student is taking and how well they're doing in those courses and how well they're doing over time in those courses. We also focus on the senior year. We look to see if students are continuing to challenge themselves their senior year. We also consider the activities that a student is involved in, and we review the personal statements. Does UW admissions use affirmative action in the admissions process? With the 2023 Supreme Court decision that effectively banned the use of affirmative action, people have asked if we have had to change our admissions process. We have not had to change our process at all. In the state of Washington, the use of affirmative action was banned in 1998 because of ballot initiative I-200. So, since in the state of Washington we have not used affirmative action for many years, the Supreme Court case did not change anything for admission at the University of Washington. Why do students with lower GPAs sometimes get admitted over students with higher GPAs? Well, that does happen sometimes, and there are a few different reasons for that. So one reason is that we consider more than grades. We consider the courses that students are taking and how they're doing in those courses over time. And another reason is that some students have socioeconomic barriers or headwinds, and that can make a difference in their education, and we take that into consideration. When we release decisions, we invite some students to be on a wait list. We have a wait list in case we're able to admit more students after the deadline passes for students to accept, which is typically May 1st. After May 1st, we'll assess if we're able to admit more students. We'll admit as many students off of the wait list as we can.